This is my review of the Brooks Hyperion Max 3. This is not a sponsored video. Brooks did not send me the shoe for review, but I also did not pay for the shoe. So I received this shoe from Houston Chevron Marathon for being a pacer. So you get normally a shoe a year. You never know when what you're gonna get until pretty late in the game. So I got that a couple of weeks before the marathon. I did not run the marathon in that one because I was a little worried about the shoe. That ended up being a good choice, but I'll get into that later. So this is about as unbiased as you can get for a shoe review because I have no money invested and they didn't send it to me for a review, so it's just my feedback on 37 miles. So next up, I'll get into the details of the specs on the shoe. So my size 12s came in weighing 11.7 ounces. On the left, 11.8 on the right. Very good quality, which is normal for Brooks. There's a 46 millimeter stack in the heel with an 8 millimeter drop. The upper is an engineered mesh. Kind of got that sock-like hybrid type of upper that Brooks has become quite known for. The outsole is strategic rubber, targeted rubber placement in different areas. The midsole is DNA Gold and DNA Flash. So it's a high stack combo of PEBA-based with nitrogen-infused foams. Supposed to be soft landings for responsive energy. I'm not sure if I agree with that, but get into that. And there's a SpeedVault Plate in there. It's a nylon plate to help with the stability and response of the shoe. And this shoe comes in at an MSRP of $200 US. So next up, I will get into the usage cases for what I did in testing on. Alright, so I ran 37 miles in the shoe. I did it on a mix of dry and wet conditions. The wet conditions were on concrete, tarmac, and not wet, but I would say not dry either, dirt and leaves. So I did mainly easy steady state, and my long run was 13.2 miles in mildly wet conditions. So that is the basic parameters of what I ran in the shoe to give some feedback on it. So next up, the upper. Okay, the upper, the laces are pretty, not overly thick, but kind of a thicker, puffier lace. Don't tend to like those laces, but it makes sense with the design of the upper. It helps prevent lockdown. So when you get the thin, stronger laces, you tie it, you can get some lace bite. So because this is more of a sock with a thinner tongue type of structure on it, the puffy laces give you the lockdown without giving you the strong bite. So I understand the design intent. They were a little short. I'm not sure if I could get a full double lace in if I actually had to use the extra lace loop, but it did the job overall for me. The tongue is part of the upper, so it's not necessarily a separate tongue, but the throat of the shoe, it would bunch up some when I was trying to get my foot into it, so it's not a big deal. I just have to adjust everything, but it was just a slight annoyance on entry, but it is what it is. When you got it in, it was comfortable. The toe box had nice room for my foot. I do tend to get along with Brooks uppers. They tend to fit me well. They fit true to size for me. I never have much of an issue with Brooks uppers. I always get a size 12 and had a size 12 in every Brooks shoe I've ever owned, and I've owned quite a few. So I tend to just go with 12 and they work. So that is it for the upper. Next up is the outsole. All right, the outsole, strategically placed. Honestly, some of the more recent Brooks shoes, I've had some problems with slippage in wet conditions. I did not have any of that problem in this shoe. However, I always felt like I was on the brink of it. Now, that could be mental because of some of the other issues I've had on other shoes, or maybe it was just on the brink of actually having a little bit of slippage in wet conditions. But I can't say I slipped, but it's just I didn't trust the shoe from that aspect. Other than that, overall, the wear is pretty good. I don't think I'm going to get an extra long wear out of it, which is disappointing for a $200 shoe. but it's not going to wear out quick either. So I'll probably get about average wear out of this outsole. Now their design, I don't know if you can see, is a bit of a rock trap. I had to pull some rocks out of here. There's one still in this one. So, you know, it is what it is. But overall, on the outsole, solid, not outstanding, but you know, it's not as good as a Puma grip, not as good as a Goodyear as far as the grippiness, but it seems to be wearing all right, and it seems to be an improvement over some of the more recent models from Brooks. So that is it for the outsole. Next up, all right, the midsole. So they have this dual density setup. They have the DNA Loft base, and then the DNA Gold up here. And I tell you what, DNA Gold, like I could feel it underfoot. Like it is just contained energy. I just want to feel a shoe with just that gold in it. Unfortunately, my first experience was with this one, which hasn't been a great one, which I'll get into here in a minute. But Brooks has something with this foam. I just hope they develop it. Hopefully they give us like an Evo SL type of shoe just with that foam in it, because the foam feels like it's got some energy kick to it. I just want it in a different setup. So that's what I kind of want to get into, is there's just a lot going on in sole. So you got the dual foam in it, you've got the plate, you've got the high stack, you've got this cutout. It's underfoot, at least for me and my mechanics, it just felt like a lot underfoot. It was not smooth for me for the most part. Now I will say there were times in my runs that I could hit a pocket, so I would hit a certain rhythm in my gait, in my cadence, and I would be going quicker than what I was expecting. But I had to be in that specific rhythm to do that, and that was about the only time I felt in line with the shoe, that it could kind of disappear underfoot. That wasn't very often though. For the most part, it felt clunky to me. It felt just big, kind of overdone. It didn't feel smooth. I don't know. I was a little disappointed. I'm glad I didn't spend $200 on the shoe, to be honest. I feel like there is something here, and I know other people have had great luck and love this shoe. I know Joanna's group, a whole bunch of them love this shoe. I did not get along with it. In fact, by the end of my 13.2 mile long run, I had severe heel pain, and I'm still actually trying to recover from it. So it really set off some pain in my feet. And it's just interesting because my co-pacer actually ran in these shoes in the marathon. He gambled a little bit, but he had a little bit more time to run in shoes ahead of the run than I did, and he had heel pain by mile 21. He actually had to back off and walk, so he couldn't finish the race at the pace that we were set to do because of the heel pain he had. So I haven't seen that complaint from other reviewers, but I definitely experienced it. I can tell you that I will probably be selling these shoes. I'm not chancing my foot health to keep running in them. So I would just say, from a midsole aspect, if you have problems with plates, or it's like a really rigid shoe, there's just no movement to it. So if you have problems with very rigid shoes, I would advise to stay away from this one, especially at $200. Again, the foam, I think they're onto something with the gold foam. Like, it feels nice. I would take the EV8, take the plate out, let me have the gold underneath. I would just give me a shoe with just that. Like, I don't even need a plate. Just give me the foam. I just want to run on that. But anyway, unfortunately, I was going to check my notes from my online review. I do have an online review posted on WeViews if you want to get a little bit more onto that. Again, yeah, so nothing additional. Actually, so that's just something on it. I saw the results from the Black Canyon ultra run, and somebody did, one of the top runners was using this shoe. So clearly this shoe works for some people. I'm just not it. So that's it for the midsole. I'll give some final thoughts. So Brooks always makes a quality shoe, in my opinion. They get a lot of heat. They may not always be the most dynamic shoe, but it's hard to question the quality of shoe. I also know they put a lot of research into the shoe. So this shoe clearly works for a good amount of people. I've seen the shoe out on runs. I saw it in the marathon. But for me and my co-pacer, for some reason, this doesn't work for us. There's something in our gait mechanics, our feet, or something that it just doesn't work for. And what's interesting is one of my favorite trainers a few years ago was the Hyperion Max OG. I loved this shoe. And the fact that this turned into this is kind of crazy to me. So this is my second pair of the OG. My first pair, I got near 500 miles in it. I have about 200 in this one. I just loved this shoe. And I know it doesn't Max, whatever. They used to get hit about the naming the shoe the Max, but it worked for me. I could run long miles in it. I ran up to 30 miles of training miles on this shoe. No pain. It took care of me. It did great. And now this, I mean, it's, again, like, it's just, I can't even believe they have the same name. I mean, that evolved so crazily. But again, just kind of going back, I know Brooks puts research into their shoes. I know this design works for a lot of people. I would just be cautious at $200 if you have problems with rigid shoes, if you have problems with plates in shoes. I'd just be wary if you have heelless shoes on certain types of shoes. I would just be wary of this, especially at $200. At $200, the shoe costs right now are driving me a little crazy. There's too many $200 trainers out there right now. That's just me. But I think that's all I have. Again, I guess to summarize, the shoe didn't work for me. The shoe works for a lot of people. In my opinion, regardless of that, I think it's overpriced. I don't think it should be $200 shoe. In my opinion, this should be down around $170, $180. But that's just me. I'm getting a little annoyed by the shoe prices at the moment. So that's it. Hope I see some of you on the trail someday. I hope your day and evening are great whenever you watch this. If you do watch this and you like my content, give me a like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And other than that, peace out. Have a great one.